This video is for anyone that is graduating soon and has loans, or for anyone that has already been working and paying off loans. Hey gang, it's Michelle Yang. I'm here to tell you about public service loan forgiveness. I'm so excited to tell you what this actually means because through this program, you can actually have your loans forgiven. Millennials, like me, are known to have so many student loans. So this public service loan forgiveness knowledge has been a godsend to me, and I'm here to share this knowledge with you. There are certain terms to have your loans forgiven, so make sure you stick around to hear about the things that you need to do so that you can qualify for public service loan forgiveness. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to my channel. The first thing is, what kind of loans do they have to be? First of all, you need a certain loan to qualify. Your loans need to be direct loans or consolidate your federal student loans into a direct loan. In this image, you can see that these are my loans. I have 16. Yeah, that is a lot. I'm showing you this image because as you can see, all of my loans say direct on them. So if your loans do not have direct on them, you need to make sure that you consolidate your loans into a direct loan so that you are eligible for public service loan forgiveness. Private loans, federal family education loans, or FEAL, or the Perkins loan, these do not qualify. So if you have any of these loans, make sure that you consolidate them into a direct loan. Second, your direct loans need to be under an income-driven repayment plan, which basically means once you are in this income-driven repayment plan, they will adjust your monthly payment based on your yearly income or your yearly salary. They do have different repayment plans, so make sure that you get your loans on an income-based repayment plan, which is the one on the bottom right of this image. Now, third of all, to know what employer is eligible. Basically, you need to be employed by a United States, federal, state, local, or tribal government or not-for-profit organization. A U.S. federal organization includes U.S. military service. I am a healthcare worker and I work at a hospital. And a lot of hospitals are not-for-profit, but there are also a lot of hospitals that are for-profit. I know this can be pretty confusing, so there is a shortcut and basically an easier way to know if your employer is eligible. So basically, your employer is eligible only if it is an organization that is tax exempt under Section 501c3 of the Internal Revenue Code. And if it's not tax exempt under Section 501c3 of the Internal Revenue Code, but whose primary purpose is to provide a qualifying public service, then this employer is also eligible. So there is a tool on a website on the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Help tool, and this is basically a shortcut to see if your employer is eligible. The website is down below in the links. In this tool, you will need your employer identification number or EIN. And this tool will help you recognize if your employer is eligible or not. The fourth thing you need to do is make sure that you work full-time at your eligible employer. If you work part-time at your eligible employer, those monthly payments will unfortunately not be qualified. But the good news is your monthly payments do not need to be consecutive. So for example, if for 1 year you are a full-time employee, the second year you are a part-time employee, and then the third year you will go back to full-time. In those 3 years, you will have 12 qualifying payments from the first year and 12 qualifying payments from the third year. So you would have a total of 24 payments within 3 years. But like I said, there won't be any qualifying payments from that second year that you were part-time. To summarize the 4 points that I just went over, Make sure you have direct loans, are paying through an income-driven repayment plan, working under an eligible employer, and working full-time in order to have these qualifying payments. You do need to have 120 monthly payments in order for you to apply for public service loan forgiveness. So if you take that out into monthly payments, that is basically 10 years of working full-time, paying direct loans under an eligible employer, under an income-driven based repayment plan, and you must be working full-time. I know, it's a lot of years. 10 years is a lot of years, but it kind of goes by quickly. Kind of. We're chained to these loans for 10 freaking years. Anyways, the fifth thing that you should make sure that you do is make sure that you fill out a public service loan forgiveness certification form and submit it to Fed Loans at least on a yearly basis. After filling out this form, they will get back to you and let you know if you are on the right track and if you are making qualifying payments under a qualifying eligible employer. This is just for, peace of mind, good documentation throughout the years, just to make sure that you know that you're on the right track, because 10 years is a long time and is a lot to keep track of. So making sure that you do it every year, every time you change a job, so that you're making sure that the new employer is a certified employer. It's much better to know on a yearly basis that you are on the right track versus figuring out at the end of your 10 years that, oh my God, something wrong happened. And there was no way for you to know unless you are filling out the certification form. So definitely make sure that you do that. The sixth thing is you should definitely make sure that you try to get on it as soon as you can. Paperwork and administrative things are obviously never fun to do. But right now, there is an administrative forbearance right now, all because of, what has happened in the past couple of years. The panorama, as some would say. And these unprecedented times have suspended payments. Without paying anything right now, you are still being qualified for public service loan forgiveness until January of 2022, which means you can get qualifying payments even though you're not paying anything. Again, the payments can only be qualifying if you have a direct loan and work full-time for a qualifying employer under an appropriate income-driven based repayment plan. So this is your sign to start working on it now. You can maybe squeeze 1 or 2 free payments in before January 2022 comes up again. I'm still working towards public service loan forgiveness, and right now I'm only halfway there. I started in the beginning of 2017, so I do have 5 more years to go. But I do know of a direct coworker that actually had their loans forgiven, which is pretty amazing. I've heard of horror stories online, but those success stories really give you hope. One of the issues I have encountered, this was probably a couple of years ago when I first started this public service loan forgiveness. I had a time where I was in a paid ahead status, which means I paid more than what my bill came out to be. For example, if my bill was $1,000, instead I paid $1,100. So this put me in a paid ahead status, which is not appropriate and does not make it a qualifying payment. So make sure your bill does not have any alerts on it or anything that has like an exclamation point alerting you to tell you that something is wrong with it. Unfortunately, you can't make these qualifying payments ahead of time. For example, it would be really nice if I could just pay 120 times like as soon as I can. For example, like once a day, so that I could just reach 120 payments within, theoretically, say 4 months. And then I would hope that my loans would be forgiven. But that unfortunately is not how it works. It has to be 1 payment per month, and that's the only way that it would be qualifying. So you cannot be in a paid ahead status. Make sure you pay your bills on time. not late, and not ahead. So if you do end up working towards this, there are a few benefits that I do want you to be aware of. Obviously, having your loans forgiven is a huge plus. Another benefit is that all your loans that are forgiven under public service loan forgiveness are not considered income by the Internal Revenue Service, which means the IRS won't tax you on those forgiven loans. I believe there are some programs that do make you pay taxes on your forgiven loans at the end of your forgiveness period. But for public service loan forgiveness, if you are following all of the rules correctly, you do apply and you end up getting your loans forgiven, the IRS will not make that trigger as your income, which basically means you'll have those loans forgiven with no taxes involved. Literally forgiven. That is amazing and something that I am totally looking forward to. My direct coworker the other day was having a ball because he was just so happy with his loans being forgiven, and of course, who wouldn't be happy with that? I am going to be so happy once my loans are forgiven. So I hope this was really helpful for you. I just wanted to make sure that I help anyone that has loans, anyone that is graduating soon, anyone who is in the beginning of their payment of their loans, or even just have already graduated and have been paying them off, but still want to get them forgiven. This is definitely a video that was hopefully very helpful for you. If you like this video, please make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out. And make sure you share this video with your friends. Let them know about public service loan forgiveness. Hope you have a good day. Bye!